So what, right? We got the video going. Okay, good. Hello, my name is Mervyn, and I am I'm a professional public speaker, and I have been for 20 years. And I've seen some serious shit happen on stage, right? Why? Because when you get on stage, regardless of how much you think you're prepared, with the audience who you've never seen before, and even if you've seen them before, every time it's different. Okay? Now, what I'm going to attempt to share with you tonight is simple. But it's not something that will change your life right away. The reason I say that is because getting the information is one thing. Learning, meaning you're able to change your life, that's a whole different thing altogether. So tonight, it's information. What you do with it after that is your business law. Okay? You could change your life. Some of the stuff I'm going to share with you is really powerful. You could change stuff in your life. But it's not going to happen unless you make a change. Tonight, it's information. So, having said that, would you like to know what some of the biggest mistakes presenters make, biggest mistakes that I've seen, and biggest mistakes that perhaps you yourself have made in your presentations? How many of you would like to know what some of the biggest mistakes are that speakers and presenters make? How many of you think that's a useful thing to know? Useful to know? Yes. Okay. Most yes. You have no. Not useful to know what the biggest mistakes are. Yeah, some of them can tell you what your mistakes are. I tell you, what would you like to know tonight? What mistakes you make as a presenter? Would you like to know what mistakes you make as a presenter? Yes. Well, why would you like to know that? Wouldn't you lose face if you know what mistakes you make?
Lose face now better than more times
Lose
later.
face now in Toastmasters is better than when you do it for real in the real world, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because here it's relatively safe. Okay? Real world, when they pay you, guess what? They have expectations. Fair enough?
Yes.
They have expectations. When they pay you, they have expectations. So this is a good place to sort it out. Right. Let's get started then. Turn to someone next to you, okay? Whoever's near you that's convenient. What we call GC, right? Geographically convenient. Turn to a GC person. And tell them a mistake that you think you've made in one of your speeches. Go on, tell them. Is it, grammatical errors? Is it that maybe you were the MC and you mispronounced the speaker's surname, so it became Singh instead of Sinaga? So tell them a mistake that you made in your presentation. I'll give you 15 seconds. Tell each other a mistake that you've made in a presentation. See what you got. Boring.
I started during my presentation. I started, so I'm looking.
Five seconds.
Too many buttons.
Too many buttons.
Okay, give your partner a round of applause, please. Okay, what do we have? Who wants to share one mistake? What do we got?
I was innocent. I was a victim. At first, I tell this one. There was a time they asked me.
Okay, what's the mistake? What's the mistake?
I have to tell the story.
No. Tell us the mistake.
They asked me to destroy something in a board, in a table topic, and I answered, I want to destroy Toastmasters.
Okay.
That was a very big mistake.
Well, thank you. That's a social mistake, right? You walk into a club and say, "Hey, I'm here to destroy you guys." So, well, that's a social mistake. Social mistakes can happen. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes you don't even know it happens. Why? Because you don't know what sensitivities there are in the room. All right? So social mistakes can happen. Thank you for that. Who's got another one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Delivering too much data.
Okay, so too much data. Has anyone seen, we'll talk more about this one by the way, but has anyone ever been in a presentation where, okay, you get a slide coming up on the screen, right?
Yes.
And the slide looks like a page. It looks like it's a page. Right, web page love, printed page love, Shakespeare page, whatever, right? It looks like a page.
Wikipedia.
And it's got as many words as a page. You've seen this? How many have seen this?
Yes.
Do you see this regularly? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This is an example of too much data. There are other examples as well. But it's, yeah, it's a big mistake. Anyone's got another one? Thank you for that. Who's got another one? One more. What's that?
Too boring.
Boring. Boring. Anyone sat through a presentation where they were bored? Anybody? Yeah? Does this happen often? Yeah. We're not going to blame anybody's club or whatever, right? But when you go to work, does it happen at work?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The most interesting people are, for presentations usually are the salespeople. You know why? You know why the salespeople are usually more interesting than, say, maybe the tech people? You know why?
They don't know.
They don't know anything.
They don't know anything. They don't know.
Actually, the reason why salespeople are possibly more interested, or at least more energetic than tech people, is because they have an agenda. They have a reason, a motivation to get you excited, right? We're going to use this information right here tonight. Okay, very nice. Now, I'm going to come back to this one here, the data one. And we're going to explore that one, because that one is probably more prevalent than the others. I like this one as well, the boring one. I mean, I don't like it. But it's a really, really relevant point. And we'll see how these two are connected. Now, can I just ask you what you think, right? What do you think are the biggest mistakes presenters make? Now, tonight, I probably have time for one and a half, or maybe possibly 2 mistakes. But what do you think are the biggest mistakes presenters make? Okay, so not just you, but maybe you sat through something and you're like, man, if only, right? The guy made a mistake or the girl made a mistake, and if only. What do you think are the biggest ones, the ones that you see, or the ones that affect you the most? What do you think? Would boring be one?
Lack of confidence.
Sorry. Okay, there's little relevance to you as an audience member. All right? So if it is an industry presentation, obviously you should be an industry professional, otherwise why are you sitting there, right? If you're just general public and you're sitting in an industry thingy, well, it's going to be irrelevant. But we do get this even with the general public. Why? General public, and then the guy talks about tech. It's irrelevant to some people, right? If I talk to you about, PCB boards, some of you will be damn excited, but most of you will be not. You know what I mean? It's irrelevant. If I talk to you about something that matters, wow, nice. So like if I talk to you about, do you know the steps to attract another person? If I talk to you about the steps to attraction, would that be relevant to you?
Yeah.
It will be interesting enough anyway, right? Yeah. Especially the younger you are, the more relevant this will be, because you have a long, possibly attractive or unattractive life ahead of you. So yeah, relevance is a big one. Thank you. Any other big ones? Biggest mistakes. Lack of confidence. So someone comes up here, lack of confidence. There's the lack of confidence one, right? There's also, in industry, you also get the opposite. What's the opposite of? No, really. Confidence is a good thing, yes?
Yeah.
So good thing, more is better, huh? More is better, no?
No.
So food is nice, especially when someone salts the food. That's really nice, right? Flavor comes out. So more is better, right? More salt. In fact, why don't we get rid of the food? We just serve salt. Just serve salt. This is what the overconfidence, right? They just serve salt. And guess what? You can't stomach it. You can't take it. Impossible. So these are really, really big mistakes. Very nice. The biggest mistake, I'm gonna hit the top 2 if that's okay, right? The biggest mistakes that presenters make. The number 1 would have to be that one. Gurmit Singh, the worst ever. Gurmit's example, and that was data is more important. I'm going to rephrase it a bit, Gurmit, where the data is more important than the who?
Audience.
Than the audience. And because the data is more important than the audience, you're going to get Hanjun. What's Hanjun's one?
Boring.
Boring. Sorry, it's not personal, it's just... And if the data is more important than the audience, you might get someone who is overconfident about the data, or someone who's so unconfident that they give even more data. You see what I'm saying? It's funny how all these mistakes are actually probably relate. If we have time to talk about psychology one of these days, it probably relates to a lack of confidence, really, a genuine lack of confidence. Too much data. Why? I have to put data so that got substance lot because I don't have the confidence myself. You know, or I'm overconfident. Why? I'm hiding the fact that I lack confidence. You know, so it's all related. You know, if I'm not able to get past the boredom, boring people, then I myself don't have the energy to do that for myself. So how can anyone else be interested? Data, too much data. What is the problem with too much data actually? Too much information, on the screen now, or the guy's, he goes on too long about nothing. What's the problem with that actually? What happens when someone gives you too much data? Because, right, imagine this one. Someone delivers everything that you need to know about a particular topic. Is that not a good thing? That's a good thing, no? Not a good thing? Think about it. Think about it. Listen to the words of it. Someone delivers to you what you need to know about a particular topic. Good or bad?
Yeah.
That's good, right? What you need to know.
No, too much.
All right? Okay, so today, children, we're going to learn how to cross the street now. Then we give the important information, look left, look right, whatever. Important, right? Now, there's a little difference here. Here's the other one. Someone delivers to you everything about a particular topic. So in one case, you're delivered everything you need to know. In another case, you're delivered everything about a particular topic. You see the difference? Don't see the difference? Yeah, the difference. Everything you need to know. These 3 things you need to know before you cross the street. Everything about a particular topic. So we talk about traffic, You think the children can learn anything? They learn nothing. Why? More information means more learning, right? Really? More information means more learning? You say no? More information means more learning. Think about it. Based on what we've just said, more information should not mean more learning. More data means more learning? More data just means more data. And probably less of something else. What do you think more data means in terms of, okay, I'll give more data, but less of something else? What is that something else, do you think? If I give you more data, is there a chance I will lose you?
Yes.
There's a chance I will lose you, which means we're getting less of something else. What is that something else? Engagement is a very nice word. Especially if you're about to get married, it's a fantastic word. Engagement. If I give you too much information, if I continue to feed you more information, if I serve you salt, you disengage very quickly. And then we end up with boring. And then we end up with other problems as well. This is a big problem. You might find yourself in this situation, okay, where you don't have perhaps the confidence to get up and just deliver you, and you end up delivering more information and more information and more information. That's usually what happens. Okay. Engagement. I like that word. You know why? Because I always ask myself, why do they need a speaker for this? For this topic, why does anyone need a speaker? And when I say this, it could be any topic. Whatever topic you're about to present, do you not ask yourself, why do they even need a speaker for this? You never ask yourself this, right? Just do it. Well, I ask myself this. Why do they even need a speaker to talk about this? Because if they want information, guess what? Do they need you?
No.
Why not?
Internet.
You can just Google it. If you want information, if you want data, you don't need me. You understand what I'm saying? You don't actually need you. They don't need you to deliver information. They don't need you to carry the information to them. It might be a little bit helpful because they don't have to wade through so much data. But if you really want data, you can Google. This is a simple answer. I don't even understand why kids are tested on anything anymore. Why test anyone when you can just Google the answer? They do it anyway. You're just testing their ability to Google, is it? So, as a speaker, you ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I doing it? Why do you think a speaker stands up, and what is the purpose of a speaker? I mean, we're all here to learn public speaking. What is the purpose of a speaker? What do you think? Would it be useful to know what the purpose of a speaker was?
Yes.
You think? Actually, you can probably go on without knowing it. You probably can, which you have probably. But do you think it'd be useful to know what the purpose of a speaker is? Do you think that'd be something that could change the way you approach your next presentation? So what do you think the purpose of a speaker actually is?
Persuade.
To persuade, thank you. Yes, anything else? To inspire, thank you. Anything else? To deliver a message, yeah, absolutely. Anything else? To influence, yes, very nice. So to influence, to inspire, to deliver a message, to persuade, are these functions of data?
No.
No, they're not. No, I'm not suggesting you get up and just your whatever charisma is enough and you have nothing to say. No, I'm not suggesting that's the case. You must have content. But are these things a function of content? You know, is it only certain content that can inspire, that can deliver a message, that can, no. Any content can. It's not, but it's not the content, is it? It's the speaker. It's the speaker. When you get up here, the biggest mistake that you could make is not understanding why you're here. You worry about what? What do you worry about before you come up and deliver a speech? Do you worry about your content? And who worries about the content before they come up and give a speech? Who worries they'll forget what to say? You worry about that? Table topics. You get up here, you don't know what to say. That's one of the biggest fears of table topics, right? You get up here, you have no idea what's coming, so you're afraid that you do not know what to say. You're afraid of this thing called lack of content. You should be afraid of something else, not lack of content. Lack of engagement. That's what you should be afraid of. Lack of engagement is the biggest mistake. Lack of engagement. Okay, second biggest mistake. Lack of engagement in the first 90 seconds. Or indeed the first 3 seconds, the first 12 seconds, the first 20 seconds, the first minute. Lack of engagement in the opening of your speech. How many of you feel that the opening for your speech could use a bit more oomph, more power, more directness, more engagement? Actually, how many of you would like more engagement when you open your speech? How many of you want to be instantly engaged with your audience when you open your next speech? Yeah, absolutely. Now we're talking. This is what a speaker must ask themselves. How can I open so that I engage? Yes, this is the question. How can I open so that I engage? You can be friendly, yes. You can, well actually, what are some of the ways that people open that are engaging? Give me an example or two. Humor, yes, you can say something funny, which gives a little bit of proof of confidence and this kind of stuff. Yes, very nice. What else? Questions. Yes, you can ask a question. A question, by its very nature, engages. So even if you are not the most engaging person, your question could help you with that. How many of you would like to, solve whatever problem that they've come to solve? All right, if it's like tonight, it is about the biggest mistakes. So how many of you think learning the biggest mistakes would help your speech? So yeah, that's engagement, right? And of course, when you ask this kind of question, make sure it's simple enough for people to understand, and that the answer is
Yes.
manipulated. In other words, you know what the answer is going to be for most of the people in the room. This is how you plan your question. How many of you would like to correct the biggest mistakes in your public speaking? Raise your hand. All right, so this question, the answer that I manipulated was what?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I didn't manipulate it, but I planned it so that most people would answer yes. And then, of course, you can do the raising of the hand thing. Now, we not only have the voice and the mind engaged, we also have the body engaged. We start to engage more and more senses. This is what you do. You can ask another question. So how many of you have ever made a mistake in your speech? So, again, we get a lot of yeses. The question you don't want to ask is, how many of you have ever made a perfect speech?
Oh.
Yes, no one's going to come up, right? But I tell you what, that's the automatic question that you might have if you're planning this speech. How many of you have ever made a perfect speech? Of course, you'll get a lot of no's. Why? Because it's designed for a no. It's just that you didn't know that. So you want it to be designed for a yes, for most of the people. Then you can ask another question. You know, how many of you have ever made a mistake in speech? And then you get more hands up. And how many of you would like to never again make the same mistakes? And you get more hands up. So now you've got 3 questions, more and more engagement, and you're in. This is what I mean by the first 90 seconds, the opening. So the questions is one way, humor is another way. Are there any other ways? What about stories? Stories are very engaging, no? Okay, what about stories?
The quotes. And you mean you
Okay, what about what?
count the quotes.
Quotes. Quotes put me to sleep, I'm sorry. Quotes put me to sleep, and guess why they put me to sleep? Because I'm 52. And I've heard every quote there is worthy of hearing. I used to teach literature. You think I don't know quotes? You know what I mean? So they put me to sleep. Why? Most quotes are not the living embodiment of the speaker. It's borrowed from somewhere else. That's why it's a quote. So you borrow from somewhere else, guess what? Are you delivering you or you're delivering someone else? You know what I mean? The engagement happens when you deliver you.
It's not authentic.
Yes, you. That's engaging. You. Your personality. That's what's engaging. You don't even have to plan your speech, really, if you know what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Make sense so far? I don't think we've got time for any others, do we? No, we're done with time. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Just to quickly recap, the data, thinking that your data is more important than your audience is one big mistake. And not engaging your audience early or right off in the first 90 seconds is another big mistake. And the way to engage your audience, you have to deliver you. They can get the data from Google. Okay, I wish you all the very best in your next speech. Thanks, Jerry.